Good afternoon, YouTube. The Chargers just hired their new general manager. His name is Joe Hortiz, and he was a scout for the Ravens for like a pretty long time, like over 10 years. And I'm pretty optimistic about this hire because he seems to be a really draft-minded type general manager, which is like a general man. Well, I mean, I would say he was a general manager, but he was like in the scouting department, and with me, I love a general manager who has a huge passion in a draft, and this guy is he breathes that draft. He's a scout, so it's not like he's just some random. He's just an assistant general manager. No, 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 no. He's a scout. So that means he knows which class is going to be stacked. He knows which class is going to be weak. And then he knows how to pick the right players. And then he knows, how, like, is it okay to trade that particular draft pick for, let's just say, like an upgrade. And I'm pretty optimistic about this direction. I believe when he became the director of the draft or something like that in 2019, he had a lot of good hits. I don't know if he directly like did it himself, but obviously it's the general manager. But I'm sure he gives a lot of influence. And his hits are Patrick Queen in the first round, Kyle Hamilton, and then he took some wide receivers too. But his famous hit was Zay Flowers. And me, I'm a huge Malik Nabers fan from LSU, and I think this pretty much sealed the nail in the coffin that Malik Nabers is going to be a Charger. Of course, if the Chargers choose to go with Brock Bowers, I'm also happy as well too. But I think Malik Nabers, I think it's 95% chance it's going to be him, because Malik Nabers and Zay Flowers, they both have similar play style. Um, Malik Nabers is more explosive than Zay Flowers, and that is something. And I would take a step further. I think Malik Nabers is actually the best wide receivers in the draft class. I take him over Marvin Harrison. I think he's going to be a better player than Marvin Harrison. Obviously, Marvin Harrison, he has like a higher floor because he does make his quarterback look insanely good. But I think Malik Nabers, he has the more explosiveness, and his play style with Justin Herbert, it's going to fit tremendously. And yes, I get it. The Chargers, their offense is already good, so why you need offense? But I think the Chargers need like more of younger weapons, because if you look at our wide receivers, they're either like a hospital patient or they're getting old. And the only good wide receiver we have is Keenan Allen. And don't be fooled by the stats that um, we don't need to get weapons with Justin Herbert because we score all the offense. Don't be fooled about that. That's just how good is Justin Herbert is. And I'm gonna make a separate video on why we must take Malik Nabers or Brock Bowers, but I'm gonna just dig in like lightly about it. But you you can look at so many examples. The Niners, look how successful they've been. It's because they have elite weapons. Now you can say, oh, they got them in the lower rounds, but come on, man. Like that is literally common sense that it's always better to take the best like weapon possible in the higher rounds. Look at Jamar Chase, for example, man. Jamar Chase was the key example. Garrett Wilson, um, Drake London, Kyle Pitts to an extent. It's just the reason why they don't look good because they're in a bad situation. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't always just pray for the lower rounds to be a generational guy. Like, sometimes you just have to take the obvious weapon. Niners are a perfect example. They did obviously. I'm not saying they're in the higher rounds, but Brandon Ayuk, he was a first rounder. Debo Samuels, he was a second rounder, but that's still a decently high pick. And having a elite weapons, it negates so many things. Um, because the Niners defense, they're not that insanely like elite. Like the Lions, they lit them up in the first half, but they just blew a lead. Meanwhile, yes, having an elite O-line is good, but if you look how the Eagles and the Lions collapse, you can tell the O-line is pretty much useless if you have no legit weapons. So that's why I'm all for getting the weapons. Obviously, there's 7 rounds, so you could always try to build your trench in like the second to seventh round, but first round, you got to take Malik Nabers or Brock Bowers. Like I said, I'm not gonna get too much in detail, but I already did essentially. But planning to make a separate video about that. But now I'm just gonna celebrate his hiring because that's a key sign that the Chargers are gonna be one of the best teams in drafting. Because the Chargers previously, Tom Telesco, he was not it, man. He is not it. He passed the Zay Flowers, obvious mistake. Um, Zion Johnson over Trent McDuffie. But, I mean, to be fair, Trent McDuffie wouldn't look good in the Chargers because Brandon Staley's going to stunt his growth. But, but Zion Johnson's not looking the best either. But, okay, man, I'm not too judgmental about that. What else he messed up on? Um, I mean, but so many moves. Joshua Kelly over L'Jarius Sneed. Um, and then I'm trying to remember who else, but basically he missed a good amount of picks, man. So, anyways, that should conclude this video. Let me know what you think about the Joe Hortiz hiring for the Chargers. As a Chargers fan, this is the best time to be a Chargers fan, and I think the way how how the Chargers are doing since they got Harbaugh, now they got Joe Hortiz. I think we are a Super Bowl contender. Now, the final part is you need to get the draft right. And now since we got Joe Hortiz, I know he's gonna get it right. He's gonna get Malik Nabers. He's gonna get the guy from LSU, and bam, magic's gonna happen. But thank you so much, and bolt up. Peace.